Alrighty, friends, it's Bradshaw. I've watched the video a bunch. I've listened to all the tapes, and I obviously was there watching it live. Had a great time. I am super proud of you guys. It was a really great performance for us. Lots of things to work on. I just want to go over a couple of things that I want us to think about as we are moving forward, getting the last bit of the show on, and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm getting ready to go here. And off to go. Sometimes I'll fast forward, sometimes I'll slow down, sometimes I'll do all different things. So when we're moving through all of this in here, right, I just want us to kind of have a sense of purpose on how we move. And then when we get in our pairs, you'll notice when you're looking at the different pairs, we've got some that are really close together and then some that are really far apart, right? And we just want that to be really consistent from one group to the next to make sure that it makes sense. Okay, and then right in here, everyone that was a soloist, go ahead and keep facing the front, as that's a little challenging and doesn't work quite as well as it would like. Also looking at that line's not quite straight, that line's not quite straight. All of the others look really great and equal from side to side. All right, so that's pretty great. Cool bass drums. Look at that spacing in it there. Make sure we take care of that. Yeah, this part generally looks real good. Some woodwind spacing stuff. It's not quite clean. It looks a lot better here. That visual looks really pretty good. There's a few gaps in the follow the leader spacing wise. Okay, then we had a couple of inconsistencies there. This set looks good, except for that group right there. And then the same thing right here. We got that line and that line that really are not very straight. And then bass drums, we end up some massive spacing issues right in the front there, right? And then right here, how the form goes from one to the next is really unclear until right at the end. All of a sudden at the end, it's like, oh, okay, that's what it was doing. So if you watch it, you can see how it kind of, right here, we've got these curves a little bit, right? So the people in the back are getting to their vertical plane way too early. And the people in the front are taking more time to get to the vertical coordinate on their dot, right? So left to right, or horizontal, left to right, right? Need to even out your steps, right? You got to take exactly equal size steps the whole way from one dot to the next, right? So if it's an 8 to 5 step, 8 steps from 1 yard line to the next, you need to take equal steps the whole time, and that's going to help those pictures actually transition right? So that whole back section spent the last half of that marching straight forward instead of at an angle. Right, and here it's pretty good. That last knee pop just looks a little lazy, so we need to really, really be picky about that. We had one person decide not to turn. Right there. Well, no turn. So let's make sure we all get that. Okay, again, so that floats and then opens in 4. So the end of it looks good, but the float was a little sloppy. And guard, this is awesome. And that lined up perfectly timing-wise. That's really cool. Again, when we scatter, have a purpose. And again, we're not moving in time, so don't march. Like if some of you are marching and some of you aren't, then it's going to look like, okay, what is it, right? Well, the judges are going to wonder, what is it supposed to be? So it needs to be very clear what it is. Okay. Got to make sure. Down, 2, 3, 4, right? So in there, you'll notice on this furthest left pod, so that'd be this group over here, they get there down to, oh, now they're going down, right? So all of a sudden, we've waited a little bit too long to get down there, and it makes this. Still had a pretty okay entrance there. We just got to make sure we are all getting there right when we're supposed to. So we're going into our poses right together. Okay, so bass drums. I shouldn't like this way, but I like this way. I don't know why, but it's kind of cool. But it makes this section of the battery look really lame. So that section of the battery, we need to have something visual going on right there. Okay, and then on these trios, one of our visual judges mentioned this, but we want to have consistent spacing with each of the trios. It's kind of like on the pairs, right? So we've got big space there and like no space there. Okay, so it's inconsistent, and then when we move, it just is real inconsistent as we move, right? So it's got to be real consistent, all right? The intent is clear, like what was it's supposed to be is very clear. This is the execution's not quite there. Okay. Again, we'll want to make sure. Okay, right here we've got a little bit of it. Oops, sorry. A little bit of spacing issues right up in there. And a little bit back in behind second row there. Between bass 2 and 3. Okay, so just a little close to Willie. Alright. And we'll be adding visuals in here to help with that. Okay, and then, so again, that spacing right there. And over there. A little bit over there, right? Again, it's very, very visible when we have a spacing problem, right? You can totally tell. And then in this form right here, right, you can kind of tell that it's not supposed to be a straight line or anything, but look at the spacing, right? Really close together in here, really open over here. Okay, so definitely something we gotta work out. All right, so guard, also big space, not so much space, right? So this part is going to be a work in progress, right? Because it's brand new. Mellophones, right? We should have kept that straight. Well, it looks like we do kind of change our order between the one and this one, right? But we need to land in a straight line. Okay, and after watching it a bunch, we're going to extend this pit interlude. We're just going to add a repeat and play that twice, and that'll give us more time to get over here and get the plumes and the sashes and give Sam ready to get prepped for his solo, right? Also want to move that group over to that yard line. So all the other ones are on 45s or the 35s, all right? We also should have landed in that line right there, so that took a little bit longer. Also check out spacing right there, friends. Not perfect. Alright, so everyone should be 2 off or splitting, right? So again, space back there as well, second row. We gotta get the step off. Again, this is like the last thing we learned how to do. So, yeah, so Awesome space. Anyway, lots of really good things happening, and these are just details, but it's just like, oh man, it makes a big difference when there's even spacing and uneven spacing in the band. This particular form, again, after looking at it from this perspective, it's really hard to read what it's supposed to look like, right? So as we clean it, we might adjust it a little bit more. Back, we've already adjusted to fit with the props, right? So it'll be an adjustment on the front end, the trumpets, mellophones, and the brass section, really. Probably scoot that forward a little bit, and we'll get that form opened up so it's a little more visible. Things to just think about is step sizes from one set to the next is the biggest thing I'm noticing is a problem. And unless you're told otherwise, every single move, you need to move in a straight line from one dot to the next dot, okay? With equal size steps the whole time. And that'll help keep the motion from set to set really clean. Alrighty, you guys are awesome. We will see you on Tuesday.